This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All contents provided by this channel is meant for educational purpose only.
Hey guys, Hackexploit here, back again with another video, and in this video we're going to be getting started with Android hacking with zANTI. Now this is going to be part of a complete series. We will be going through how to perform a penetration test with your Android device. Now of course some prerequisites for this series are that your device needs to be rooted and you should have BusyBox installed. Now, if you're a bit confused as to what BusyBox does, BusyBox essentially gives you additional tools and scripts that you can utilize with your root access. And in this video, we're going to get started with using zANTI. Now, you might be a little bit confused as to what zANTI does. And I feel that there is a lot of confusion because many people think going into using zANTI that it is a fully like an all-in-one application that allows you to perform exploitation. The truth is it is not, and you can't exploit any device if you're lucky. Well, I'm talking about the new version because there are some changes that in my opinion have made the application a whole lot better. All right. So essentially what zANTI is it is an application, or it is a mobile penetration testing toolkit, and it also allows you to perform risk assessment. All right. So essentially what they are calling it is a mobile penetration testing toolkit. Now, the core functionality as of right now lies with three core principles. Number one, it allows you to perform scans on your entire network. Secondly, it allows you to diagnose your network for vulnerabilities, obviously. And finally, it allows you to generate reports. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, if there's no exploitation, then what is the purpose of this application? The purpose lies with vulnerability assessment and information gathering. So zANTI, as a mobile penetration testing toolkit, is directed towards security managers and network administrators, system administrators, and it allows them to assess the risk level of a network they're connected to, or a network in which they're performing a penetration test. So you can see as to who this is directed towards. And the reason I'm showcasing this application is because it can really help with a penetration test. So as I said, in this series, we're going to be looking at how to get Metasploit installed on your Android device, how to use it, and eventually we'll be looking at how to perform a full penetration test with your Android device. Alright, so we'll be looking at how to exploit some real world exploits from your Android device directly. Now, I will be posting the zANTI link in the description. It's really very simple to get started with it. All you have to do is just enter your email and they'll send you the link and you can download it and install it. Now, the version I'm talking about right now is version 3.17. This is the latest version as of recording this video, and I'll be updating you on the latest features as a new version is released. Okay, so I already have zANTI opened up and I have root access. I'm running this on my Nexus 5 device. As you can see right here, it's running the latest version of Oreo and it's working perfectly. zANTI is working perfectly on this version as well. Okay, so if I swipe to my left, you have your typical zANTI functionality. You have your send reports, and as you can see, if you've used the older version, which in my opinion did not work fully as it should have, all right, and it just really messed up the functionality of the application. You have history, you have settings. If we look at the settings, it allows you to select the scan type in terms of what you want Nmap to utilize. You can perform a vulnerability scan. You can perform, you can search your hosts by the operating system. You can then perform Nmap scan and OS search, which is what I prefer. And you can go into your Wi-Fi settings, essentially selecting the network that you want to connect to and perform the penetration test on. All right. That being said, let us move on backwards and you can look at the other applications. We're going to be focusing on zANTI. So I'm going to swipe back. Now, if you've just opened the application and you're connected to the Wi-Fi network, because that's something that I just want to clear up, this application is not going to hack Wi-Fi for you. This application is focused on vulnerability assessment and man-in-the-middle attacks, something that it is really well known for. And if you're trying to go into it, you're not trying to exploit systems, trying to hack iPhones, I'm sorry, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. Okay, so as I said, I'm just going to go into this tutorial, or this video with something. I just want to throw out a bit of caution that this indeed can lead to a lot of data breaches and can allow for people to monitor traffic on a network in a really scary way. And we're going to be talking about the mitigation of this in a few seconds. So you can perform a scan. I've already performed a scan. As you can see, it's telling me my scan is currently running, all that it is currently running. And the reason why I've performed a scan on my network and on the target right now, I'll be showing you the target computer that's connected to my network, is because the scan will take a while. If you're scanning the entire network, it's going to take a while, because you can imagine that it has to perform an Nmap scan for the all the computers in the network just to discover what operating system they're running. And we're talking about mobile technology here. You have to understand that it's using a Wi-Fi adapter that's not designed to be used in the way it is being designed, the way it is being used right now. Okay, so before we get into this, I just want to throw out a couple of scenarios that you might be faced with, or you might be forced to use this application, because I know you have that question lingering in the back of your mind. Why can't I just use my laptop? When will I ever be in a situation where I'll be using zANTI? And I can explain this for you. All right. Take, for instance, you're a penetration tester and you've been called immediately to perform, a scan on network. And for some reason your laptop decides, it just decides that it isn't going to boot up, and you face one of those Linux kernel issues. Your computer can boot up, or you forgot your laptop, or you're just called there for a meeting. You can perform an actual vulnerability assessment on the network with your mobile device. That is something that is mind-blowing to me, and I'm sure it's mind-blowing to any penetration tester out there. You can actually get information about the network straight on your mobile device. It's also quite impressive too. Now again, another scenario might be a little bit chilled out. You're maybe at a coffee shop, or you're at school, university. You can perform scans on the network. Not that I'm encouraging you to do this. Of course, take this video with a pinch of salt. I am not going to be held responsible for any illegal activities that you do in turn want to practice on any unauthorized network. Remember, I'm doing this on my network, and I'm responsible for any damage that I do. And talking about man-in-the-middle attacks, with SSL strip, which is also a functionality of this application, it does exist. You are able to intercept traffic, you're able to intercept passwords, you can capture passwords, you can capture traffic, and the great thing about zANTI is it allows you to generate beautiful reports. I mean, absolutely beautiful reports. This is something that I'll be showcasing probably in the other videos when we'll be performing a complete penetration test, from information gathering to exploitation and clearing up your tracks. That being said, let's get started. Let me stop dilly-dallying about. You can see that we have devices connected to my network, and the target device is this one right here, the Alexis Workstation, or WS. It is the IP address 192.168.1.108. And as you can see, I have two Windows 10 machines on my computer right now on my network. One of them is running Windows 10 Pro 16.299, that is the build number, and the other one is running a latest version, which I'm going to be clicking on right now. Now I've already performed a scan, and I was testing the man-in-the-middle functionality here. But what you can do is, if you just go to in the scans tab right up there, look at how beautiful of a report it's generated, not only for the device that you're currently selected, but it's just unbelievable. It generates all the information in a beautiful table. It gives you information about whether or not it is running a virtualization software. And again, we'll be taking a look at this advanced, because a lot of you guys have been asking me how to generate reports for penetration tests, and it is very important. So that's something we'll be touching upon. Okay, so you can see it'll give you the name of the computer using the server message block information that it was able to grab, or banner grabbing, operating system with the build number, which is awesome. You have your network adapter, which is the wireless adapter or the interface it's using. As you can see, it's going to give me, in this case, because I'm using Ethernet, sorry about that, it's using Microstar, which is the motherboard manufacturer. The IP address, local IP, MAC address, the ports that are currently open. As you can see, this is a typical Windows operating system or Windows computer. Now, if you've performed a man-in-the-middle attack, it will give you user agents. What are user agents? User agents are the browsers that the client or the target is using. Now, this is, it's very useful information as to what device this guy is using, and what browser is he using. An unpatched version of Firefox, is using an unpatched version of of Chrome. You can see right now I just clicked on it. It's telling me I'm using Mozilla Firefox. I'm using Windows 10. It's a 64-bit version of the software. So you get an idea. You say, yes, aha, this guy's using Windows 10. He's using a 64-bit version of Windows. Interesting. Not a lot of information can be gathered there. Now, you can look at the vulnerabilities that you can scan for. Now, I stopped the scan because I did not want to focus on the scanning bit here, because that's something more advanced. We're going to be focusing this video on man-in-the-middle attacks. Now, I have man-in-the-middle attacks here, and you can see I performed a man-in-the-middle attack, and I already got started with SSL strip. Let me just move that recording dialog up there. You can see that you can enable or disable SSL strip. You can redirect HTTP requests to a given address. So you want to redirect your target to maybe a web page that contains an application that could contain a remote access tool or malware, and that's one way of getting it installed. You know, you're targeting users, maybe you're at a cafe and you want to target. I know I'm sounding like a black hat right now, but I'm giving you the different scenarios or attack vectors that one may use with the functionality that the app provides. Remember, this is all being performed from a mobile device. No one will ever suspect you with your big Lenovo ThinkPad laptop and your TP-Link adapter. You look like a hacker, and if any data loss is discovered or any breach is discovered, they'll come back looking for a suspicious guy with, an adapter sticking out of his USB port, looking all happy and smiling at his computer screen. But you can just imagine yourself just being on your phone, not attracting any attention, and you're just there, sipping your coffee, and you're performing these attacks. Now, looking at the other functionality, I know I delved a bit out of topic there, but you can also replace images with your own images, and this can be used, as a prank sort of. This is something that you would do on your friends if they're on your Wi-Fi network, and and spam different funny pictures or memes or whatever childish stuff you feel like doing there. Again, that's quite harmless. You're just spamming images on a website with images you specify. Of course, the images could be of gore and, represent nudity. I've seen that happen a lot around campus and stuff like that. But the most important thing for me is, as a penetration tester, is SSL strip, because it allows you to decrypt the data that is being transferred, and essentially allows people like me, people, in the middle, or men in the middle, to intercept data that is being transmitted. And you might be asking, what importance does this functionality hold to me, sir? And the great thing there is that it allows you to log passwords. Now, in a few seconds, you should see my Windows 10 operating system, or the target in this case, and I'm going to start a man-in-the-middle attack on my target. So I'm just going to hit SSL strip, and I'm going to start the man-in-the-middle attack here. Whoops. Yeah, there we are. It's going to ask you for a super user request, and let me just start my screen recorder here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my browser here. Just give me a second. There we are. You should see this screen any second now with a website opened up. But if you don't worry, you should see it in a few seconds once I'm ready to showcase the information that I'm transmitting here. Just give me a few seconds. Let me just make sure everything is up and running. I apologize for the delay. All right, so the screen should be up right now. As you can see, I've opened up the BBC webpage. For some reason, it's still stuck on my homepage, my website homepage. I usually have that opened up. As my default webpage, because I want to see the current changes made to the website. You can see that I've opened up bbc.com. The BBC is the British Broadcasting Corporation. It's not the BBC you're thinking about, which a lot of people, like making fun of. And this website does use HTTPS, but right now you can see that I have stripped the SSL certificate, and it is running HTTP. And if you right click on the security information, it'll tell you that the connection is not secure. Now, what importance does this have? I know I'm using a very basic example, but you can imagine someone browsing, going through websites, and he says, you know what, I want to sign in. So I'm going to hit sign in on the BBC webpage. Now, by the way, I'm not going to be affiliated, and I'm not going to be showing you the breaking of this webpage. And right now you can see that they have a security or a WAF on their device, which is great to see. This is one of the great mitigations that they have enabled. A good SSL, whoops, there we have David Attenborough there. So that's not something you want to be hacking every day. You can see that they have a web application firewall that essentially allows them to make sure that they're using a secure certificate, they're using the SSL certificate on their login pages, which is great to see. So nothing important there. But coming back to the zANTI application, you can see that we can go through all the traffic that was logged on the device. You can see we went to bbc.com, and if I click on this, you can actually browse the page that was loaded, which is great. You can get an idea of what the user is logging, all the websites. You know, a lot of people like making fun of this, you know, just going through the traffic that the person is going through, again, browsing the pages they're browsing, all that good stuff, you know, reading the Reddit, subreddits. What else? Let's see. Now let's talk about passwords. Now, most of the top end sites, as I've just shown you with web application firewalls, from the server side, and secure SSL certificates, will in most cases block these type of attacks, these man-in-the-middle attacks. But as you can see on the main web page, the SSL certificate is not active, and I'll be talking about this in a few seconds. If I talk about sites that are not secure, for some reason, sometimes the SSL strip does not work all the time. I'm going to be honest, their zANTI needs to work on this, and it probably has to do with your network adapter not really working. And this is something I want to talk about. Now, I'm going to be opening a website here, or actually I will be showcasing this in the next video. We'll be talking about SSL strip using specific tools with the terminal on Android. But you can see that redirecting HTTP and the other functionality isn't important. The real thing here is opening websites that, or logging traffic that you can. Now, performing a scan on the device, where we can just click on zANTI scan here and go into vulnerability scanning, perform a scan there. As you can see, it's going to start performing an Nmap scan on the target, and it'll give you a version of Nmap that's running. It's great that it does come preloaded with Nmap in it. That's fantastic. You can see that it's going to start a vulnerability scan, and again, you can run that in the background, and you can see that this is a beautiful information that it displays about the target, and it's divided really well. You can clear the data that you've gathered about the target. You can rename the target. You can look at the data captured in the man-in-the-middle attack. You can look at the vulnerabilities, and finally you can look at the scan report that you can send to your email, or you can save it on to your file explorer. I'm just sure you've just seen my dad's picture there, not to worry. And going back here, you can see that it's given you user agents, the last scan, the scan time, the last time the scan was performed, the ports that are currently open, and again, the man-in-the-middle attacks. If I just click back on that, you can go ahead and start replacing images with what you want. Again, we're going to be looking at the functionality of SSL strip with zANTI in future videos, but I just wanted to show you how to utilize zANTI, the latest version of zANTI right now, realistically, without, you know, giving you guys some clickbait titles. You know, saying, you know, hacking Wi-Fi with zANTI or hacking passwords with zANTI. Now, that being said, let's move on to the mitigation side of stuff. You can see that we are able to log traffic on our devices. Now, that may not seem like a lot, and you might be saying, that's not a lot. But you can imagine if you're connected to a network, you can essentially eavesdrop on the traffic or what the other people are doing. Is that supposed to be happening? Not really. So what I would suggest in terms of mitigation is, first of all, you know, make sure that on the client or on devices connected to a Wi-Fi network, that awareness is generated as to telling people or telling customers, for example, in the coffee shop scenario, that they shouldn't be logging in, you know, into what I would consider high-risk websites like their bank, the online banking, Facebook, social networks, any type of website where they're signing in with their email and password, because they could be using the same email and password combination for various other sites. Telling them not to sign in, having them use browser extensions like HTTPS everywhere, and obviously having the man-in-the-middle detecting tools connected to their routers. We'll be reviewing those hardware tools and whether or not they work really, really well, because they're essentially tools that allow us to detect whether there is an intrusion and whether any packets are being captured, whether there is ARP poisoning, all that good stuff. But again, welcome to zANTI, welcome to Android hacking, and I hope to push this series even further and to push it in a realistic direction as to how far we can go with hacking with Android. That being said, I know I spoke a lot in this video. I just wanted to discuss this with you and go over zANTI, with you as a in an objective way. That being said, hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comment section on my social networks or on my website, and I'll be sure to answer them there. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.